Chapter 1. The setup I didn't see coming. I always thought I understood people. I thought I could read their tone, their eyes, the small pauses in their speech. But the day Haris and Zion came to my house with strange smiles on their faces, I realized I didn't know anything. Not even about the two people I trusted most in the world. It started in the afternoon. I was repairing a chair in the living room when Haris barged in without knocking. "Bro, we need to talk," he said. Zion walked in behind him with the same fake grin he used when he was hiding something. I frowned and set my tools aside. "What happened? Why do you both look like this?" "Like what?" Zion laughed. "We're just excited." "For what?" I asked. Haris sat on the sofa like it was some dramatic scene. "We found someone for you." I stared at him. "Someone for me?" "Yeah," Zion said quickly. "A girl. A good girl. Perfect for you." My stomach tightened. "I didn't ask you to find me anyone." "You didn't have to," Haris replied, waving his hand. "We did it because we care. We want you to settle down with someone who won't hurt you." "And who is this girl?" I asked. They looked at each other before Haris answered. "Her name is Aira." "Aira," I repeated slowly. "Okay. What's special about her?" Silence. Too long. Too heavy. Zion scratched his neck. "She's quiet." "Quiet?" I narrowed my eyes. "Quiet how?" Haris finally said the sentence that changed everything. "She can't talk." I blinked. "What do you mean she can't talk?" "She's mute," Haris said casually, as if he was telling me the weather. "She can't speak at all." The room felt colder. "And you want me to meet her? Why?" Zion leaned forward. "Listen, bro. She needs someone mature. Someone who won't judge her. Her family is really going through a tough time." "And you think that someone is me?" I asked. They both nodded instantly. I shook my head. "I don't even know her. And you two are acting weird. Why are you pushing this so hard?" "We're not pushing," Haris said too fast. Zion added, "We're helping you. And helping her." "Her voice." Haris paused, searching for words. "She deserves a safe future. And you're the safest guy we know." My chest tightened, but something felt off. Their eyes were shifting too much, like they were hiding something behind the fake concern. "So when do you want me to meet her?" I asked hesitantly. "Today," Zion said. "Right now, actually." "What? Now?" "Yes," Haris said. "Her family is waiting." I stared at them, searching their expressions for honesty. But all I saw was pressure disguised as friendship. Still, they had been my closest friends since childhood. So I tried to trust them. "Fine," I muttered. "Let's go." They exhaled with too much relief. Another red flag I didn't understand at the time. We walked to Aira's house, a small place at the edge of the neighborhood. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears as we reached the gate. Haris knocked. A middle-aged man opened the door. His tired eyes spoke more than his voice. "You must be him," he said. "Come in." Inside, the house smelled of medicine and old wood. A woman, probably his wife, sat on the sofa with a worried expression. Then I saw her, a girl sitting quietly in the corner. Thin, small, wearing a pale blue dress. Her eyes lifted when she saw me. They were soft but scared. Not shy scared. "That's Aira," the man said. She stood up slowly. Her hands trembled as she held a tiny notebook against her chest. I stepped forward. "Hi, I'm..." Before I finished, she bowed her head respectfully. She didn't try to speak. She didn't even try to gesture. She just looked at me with eyes that hid 1,000 unsaid fears. Her uncle spoke instead. "She communicates by writing. She will show you." Aira opened her notebook with shaking fingers. She wrote something quickly, then turned it to me. "Thank you for coming." Her handwriting was soft, small, and almost apologetic. I smiled gently. "It's okay." Haris stepped forward quickly. Too quickly. "See? She's very polite. Very kind." Zion nodded. "Exactly the type of person you need." I shot them a look. "Let me talk to her alone for a moment." They exchanged nervous glances, but I ignored them. I sat down across from Aira. Are you okay with this meeting? I asked. She hesitated before writing. I don't know. My eyebrows lifted. You don't know? She wrote again. Everything is happening fast. Something inside me cracked when I read that. It wasn't just fast, it was forced. Her hands shook too hard for this to be normal. Her aunt suddenly spoke. She's just shy. She will adjust. But Aira's eyes didn't agree. I leaned closer and whispered, Are you being pressured into this? Her eyes widened. She gripped the notebook tightly, but she didn't write anything. Instead, she closed it and lowered her head. Before I could say another word, Haris stepped between us. Okay, time's up. So, what do you think? I glared at him. What do I think? She looks terrified. You didn't tell me She's fine. Zion cut in quickly. You're overthinking. No, I'm not. Yes, you are, Haris insisted, placing a hand on my shoulder. Bro, just trust us. Trust. That word hit me in a strange way. For years, I trusted them blindly. For years, they were my brothers. But Aira's eyes, they told me another story. Still, surrounded by her family, pressured by their voices, and confused by everything happening at once, I found myself nodding weakly. Her uncle smiled in relief. So you will consider the marriage? Marriage. The word felt too heavy, too sudden, too unreal. But before I could say anything, Haris answered for me. He will. I spun around. I didn't. You will, Haris whispered under his breath, squeezing my arm tightly. Trust me. Aira looked at me again. This time, her eyes were not scared. They were pleading. And I, foolishly, didn't understand what she was begging for. Chapter 2. A marriage I didn't choose. I didn't sleep that night. I kept hearing Haris's voice in my head. Trust me. I kept seeing Aira's trembling hands, her lowered head, her silent plea. By morning, my mind was a storm. I paced around the room, replaying every detail from yesterday. Why did they rush me? Why did she look afraid? Why did her uncle seem too eager? At noon, there was a loud knock on my door. I opened it to find Haris and Zion again. Get ready, Haris said, already pushing inside. We need to go. To where? I asked sharply. Her house, Zion replied. We're finalizing things today. My heart jumped. Finalizing what? The marriage, Haris said casually, as if discussing a grocery list. Her family is waiting. I stepped back. Are you both insane? I never agreed to marry her. Yes, you did, Haris said. No, I didn't. He smirked. You nodded. That's not agreement. I snapped. Haris grabbed my shoulders. Listen, bro, don't freak out. This is good for everyone. For everyone? I shot back. Is it good for her? Did you even ask her? Zion stepped between us. Bro, she's mute. She can't express everything like us. You're reading too much into her silence. I'm reading her fear, I said. Zion's smile flickered. There's no fear. Then why did she write, everything is happening fast? Neither of them had an answer. Haris forced a laugh. She's just shy. Don't complicate things. I stared at him. Why are you both so desperate? What aren't you telling me? Again, that tiny flash of panic in their eyes. Zion clapped his hands. Bro, stop. You're making this dramatic. Come with us. Just be respectful and sit quietly. The families talk, and everything moves smoothly. My stomach turned. No, I need answers first. You'll get them, Haris said quickly. After the marriage. I froze. After. Yes, Zion added. Just trust us. This is for her future. And yours. Something inside me wanted to walk away, slam the door, cut them off. But my mind was tangled. 2 childhood friends wouldn't ruin my life, right? They wouldn't push me into something dangerous, right? I swallowed hard. Okay, but I'm not signing anything today. Of course, Haris said, smiling too fast. Just come. The house was full today. More relatives. More eyes. More pressure. Aira sat in the same corner, notebook in hand. Her dress was different. A simple white one, but her eyes looked even more frightened. Chapter 3. The wedding that broke her. I thought signing the papers was the worst part. I was wrong. The real nightmare began the moment they said the nikah would happen that same evening. No time to think. No time to breathe. No time for Aira to say anything. Not that anyone let her speak anyway. After the papers were signed, Aira sat in the corner, her head lowered, notebook gone. Her hands were curled into fists on her lap. She looked like she wanted to disappear into the wall behind her. I kept looking at her, searching for even a tiny sign that she was okay with this. There was none. "Bro, smile," Haris whispered as he fixed the collar of my shirt. "It's your wedding day." I pushed his hands away. "Why didn't you tell me it would be today?" He looked annoyed. "Because you would have refused." "So you tricked me?" He laughed lightly, but his eyes didn't match the laugh. "Don't be dramatic. It's already done." I felt sick. "You both set me up." Zion walked over with tea. "We set you up with a good girl. What's the problem?" "She doesn't want this," I said. Zion rolled his eyes. "She's mute, bro. You really think she knows what she wants?" That sentence felt like a slap. I stared at him, shocked. "She's mute, not stupid." He held up his hands. "Relax. It's a joke." But it wasn't a joke. Not to him. Not to them. The imam arrived. The relatives filled the small living room, and Aira was escorted into another room to prepare. I tried to follow, but her aunt blocked the doorway. "You cannot see her now," she said firmly. "I need to talk to her," I insisted. "No," she replied coldly. "She is nervous enough." Nervous wasn't the word. Terrified was. I stepped back, angry and helpless. Every time I tried to get close to Aira, someone stood in my way. Someone was always watching her. Someone was always answering for her. Someone was always shutting her down. Why? What were they hiding? Before I could think more, Haris pulled me to sit next to the imam. "Come on. Don't embarrass us." Embarrass them. Never about me. Never about Aira. Always about them. The imam began reading the nikah sermon. My heart pounded louder with every word. I kept glancing at the closed door where Aira was. "Do you accept this marriage?" the imam asked me. I hesitated. Zion jabbed my arm. "Say yes." I swallowed hard. "Yes." My voice sounded like it didn't belong to me. Then the imam called for Aira. Her aunt brought her out. Aira walked slowly, eyes glued to the floor. She didn't lift her head even once. The imam asked her a question she could never answer aloud. "Do you accept?" Silence. Her uncle bent close to her ear. "Nod." She didn't move. He tightened his grip on her wrist. "Nod." Her chin trembled. She lifted her head slightly, then froze. Her eyes met mine for the first time since morning. I saw everything in them. Fear, pain, apology, and a plea. A plea for me to stop this. A plea for someone to save her. She didn't nod. Not until her uncle dug his fingers harder into her wrist, hidden under the sleeve of her dress. She flinched tiny, but I saw it. Then she nodded. A broken, forced nod. The imam announced, "The nikah is complete." Zion cheered. Haris clapped my back. Her relatives sighed in relief. Aira's hands fell to her sides, limp like her spirit had slipped out of her body. I whispered, almost choking, "Aira, I'm sorry." But she didn't react. She didn't even blink. She was gone inside. The guests left. The imam left. Even her relatives scattered around the house preparing food, chatting, acting like everything was normal. But Aira stayed in that corner. Still, silent, shaking. I approached her. "Aira dash." She pulled back slightly, like she expected me to hurt her too. I raised my hands. No, I won't touch you. I swear. I need to talk to you." Her eyes flickered, but she didn't move. I sat down a safe distance away. "Did they force you?" She lowered her gaze, but a single tear slid down her cheek. I felt it like a knife. "Please," I whispered. "Write something. Anything. Tell me what's happening." She slowly lifted her hand toward her dress pocket and pulled out something small, a folded paper. Her aunt must have missed this one. She handed it to me with shaking fingers. I unfolded it. There were 4 words. Please forgive my family. I looked at her sharply. Forgive them? For forcing you. She started writing more, using the back of the paper. Her handwriting was messier than before. Her hand must have been shaking badly. They think this is my only chance. They don't listen to me. I swallowed hard. What do you want, Aira? She froze. Her lips trembled. She squeezed her eyes shut like the question hurt her. Then she wrote, I want to be safe. My chest tightened. Safe? Why aren't you safe here? Before she could write more, the door swung open. Her uncle walked in, glaring. What are you two doing? Why are you sitting so close? Aira flinched and hid the paper. He snatched it from her hand before I could stop him. He read the words. His face twisted. You ungrateful girl. Hey! I stood up. He stepped toward her, raising his hand. I grabbed his wrist midair. Don't you dare. He glared at me. She's my responsibility. She's my wife now, I said sharply. And I won't let you hurt her. Aira's eyes widened. She looked like she wanted to say thank you, but she couldn't. Her uncle yanked his arm away. If you want her, take her. Tonight. She leaves with you. Aira froze. I froze. What? I said. You heard me, he snapped. Take her now. She belongs to your house. We are done with her. Aira's face went white. Her aunt walked in. Is that wise? She's his problem now, he said. Pack her things. Before I could even process anything, the women rushed into her room. I heard them stuffing clothes into a bag. I heard whispers. I heard Aira's soft, muffled crying. Haris and Zion entered behind me. Haris whispered, Bro, don't worry. This is normal. Normal, I repeated, stunned. They're throwing her out like she's trash. Zion shrugged. That's how it works sometimes. She's yours now. I wanted to punch him, but instead, I looked at Aira's pale face as she stepped out with a small bag and shaking hands. Her uncle shoved the bag toward me. Take her. Aira clutched the strap tightly and looked at me with one expression. Don't leave me here. Haris smiled and whispered, Welcome to married life, bro. I felt the world closing in. This wasn't marriage. This was a disaster. And as I walked out of that house with Aira silently following behind me, I knew one thing with absolute certainty. Something was deeply wrong, and I had just stepped into the middle of it. Chapter 4. The Girl Who Wouldn't Look at Me. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of someone knocking softly on my door. At first, I thought it was my mother. But when I opened my eyes and sat up, she was already standing inside the room, holding a tray. Isha. She had placed breakfast on the small wooden table. Bread, tea, and fruit. She didn't look at me, not even once. I rubbed my face and sat up. Hey, I said quietly. You don't have to bring this. She didn't respond. She simply nodded, stepped back, and turned toward the door. Aisha, wait, I said quickly. She froze but didn't turn around. I didn't say thank you last night, I said. I was just tired. Everything happened so fast. Still nothing. I sighed. Can we talk? Even just for a moment. She didn't speak, but she gently shook her head, then slipped out of the room and closed the door behind her. My chest tightened. She really doesn't want to talk to me. I stared at the tray. The tea was still hot. When I walked out into the living room, Mom was waiting with her arms crossed and a knowing smile. She woke up early, she said. Made breakfast for everyone. Even helped me with dishes. I blinked. Already? She barely talked last night. She doesn't talk much, Mom said. But she listens. She watches everything. She's a good girl. I didn't know how to respond. A door opened behind us, and Aisha stepped out with her small bag. She was dressed in a simple light blue outfit. Her hair was tied back neatly. She kept her eyes low, avoiding mine. Where are you going? I asked. Mom answered for her. She's going to help at the neighbor's place. Their kid is sick. Aisha nodded slightly. Mom whispered to me, Go. Walk with her. Mom. Go, she insisted. pushing me lightly toward the door. Chapter 5. The night everything snapped. Couldn't sleep that night. My body was tired, but my mind refused to rest. I kept hearing Haris's voice. You already married her. There's no going back. Played again and again like a curse. Around midnight, I walked to the living room. The house was dark, but a faint light came from under Aira's door. I hesitated. I didn't know if she wanted to see me or feared me like she did everyone else. But something inside me pushed forward. I knocked gently. Aira? It's me. No answer. I knocked again. Can I come in? A few seconds later, the door clicked. She opened it only halfway and looked up at me nervously, her hands gripping her notebook. Are you awake? I asked softly. She nodded. I can't sleep. My mind is messed up. I sighed. Can I sit with you for a bit? She hesitated, then slowly opened the door wider. I stepped inside. Her room was small, quiet, and clean. Her books were stacked neatly on the table. A tiny lamp glowed softly. She sat on the floor, her blanket wrapped around her legs. I sat across from her. We stayed silent for a long moment. Finally, she opened her notebook and wrote, Are you angry? I shook my head. No, I'm confused. Lost. Angry at them, not you. She wrote again. I didn't want this to happen like this. I swallowed. Did they force you to? Her hand froze on the page. She didn't write exactly that. Instead, she scribbled slowly. I had no choice. I leaned forward. Why? Why did you have no choice? Her eyes filled with panic again. She quickly closed the notebook and hugged it against her chest. I'm not here to hurt you, I said softly. You can tell me. She shook her head violently, almost begging me to stop asking. Okay. Okay, I whispered. I won't push. She relaxed a little. I sighed and rubbed my face. I don't understand anything, Aira. They tricked me. I know that now, but I don't know why. I don't know what they did to you, and I don't know how to fix this. She watched me quietly, her eyes softening a little. Then she opened her notebook again. You are kind. My heart tightened. You don't know that. She wrote with more certainty. I know. I can see it. I looked away. I'm not sure anymore. The room went silent again. Only the soft hum of the lamp filled the air. Then she wrote, Haris told me you wouldn't hurt me. I froze. He told you that? She nodded. I clenched my jaw. He had no right to speak for me. She wrote, He said you needed someone who won't leave you. I laughed weakly. That's rich coming from him. She watched me, waiting, so I said it. He stabbed me in the back. Not literally, but worse. He messed with my life. He decided what I needed without asking me. She lowered her head, sadness softening her features. She wrote slowly, I am sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. I pressed a hand against my chest. This situation, it's not your fault. She looked up at me, her eyes searching mine, as if trying to understand whether I truly meant it. I don't blame you, I whispered. Her lips trembled a little, like she wanted to say something but couldn't. Then she wrote, Do you hate me? The question hit me like a punch. I don't, I said instantly. I swear I don't. She stared at me with wide eyes, almost surprised by how quickly I answered. I continued, voice low. I don't hate you. I hate how they pressured both of us. I hate how they hid things from me. And I hate how they put you in a position where you can't speak up. Literally. She blinked slowly, like she was absorbing every word. Then her hand moved shakily. Thank you for not shouting. My chest tightened. Aira, has someone shouted at you before? Her eyes dropped. She didn't answer, but the silence told me enough. I leaned closer. Has someone hurt you? Her shoulders tensed. She gripped her notebook tighter. I didn't push further. Okay, I understand. If you ever want to tell me, you can. If not, that's okay too. She exhaled shakily and nodded. I slowly stood up. Do you want to sleep now? She didn't move. Instead, she wrote one more sentence. Do you feel alone? I froze. It was such a simple question. So innocent. but it hit the deepest part of me. Yes, I whispered. More than I've ever felt. She hesitated, then scooted a little closer. Not touching me, but close enough to show she understood. I sat back down. Aira, I said quietly. I don't know what we're supposed to be. Husband and wife? Friends? Strangers living under one roof? I don't know. She wrote, What do you want? I stared at the page for a long time. What did I want? Freedom? Answers? Revenge? Peace? Finally, I said, I want the truth. From you. From them. From everyone who pushed us into this. She lowered her eyes. I won't force you, I added softly. But someday, please, tell me what happened. Why you were scared that day. Why you kept looking at them like you were trapped. A tear slid down her cheek. Before I could react, she wrote something quickly, her hands trembling. I will tell you. Just not now. I nodded. Okay, whenever you're ready. Then she reached into her drawer and pulled out a small object. A key. She placed it in my hand. I looked at it, confused. What is this? She wrote, My trust. I stared at her. For the first time since the day I met her, she wasn't afraid of me. And for the first time, I felt something shift inside me. Something dangerous. Something powerful. I wanted to protect her. Not because we were married. Not because they forced us. But because she trusted me in a way no one had in a long time. And I knew I would burn the whole world down before letting anyone hurt her again. Chapter 6. The first crack in their lies. The next morning felt different. Heavy, tense, like the air was warning me that something big was coming. I barely slept after my conversation with Aira. Her words kept replaying in my head. I will tell you, just not now. My trust. That small key in my pocket felt heavier than metal. Felt like responsibility. I walked into the kitchen and found Aira already there, making tea. She didn't look at me at first, but when she did, her eyes softened. She pointed to a cup she'd placed on the table. For me? I asked. She nodded. I sat down. Thank you. She wrote quickly. You didn't rest. I let out a weak laugh. You noticed. She nodded again. I sipped the tea. It was warm, calming. Exactly what I needed. But the moment didn't last long because someone banged on the front door like they wanted to break it. Aira jumped, almost dropping the kettle. I stood up. It's okay. I'll get it. But she grabbed my sleeve, eyes wide with panic. What is it? I asked. She wrote with shaking hands. Don't open. I froze. Why? Who do you think it is? She swallowed hard and wrote one word. Haris. My jaw tightened. Her fear wasn't normal. I didn't know what he had done to her yet, but whatever it was, she reacted like he was a threat. Another loud knock shook the door. I stepped forward. I have to open. If I ignore him, he'll break something. She didn't write anything, but she shook her head desperately. I placed a hand on her shoulder. Stay in the kitchen. Please. She clutched her notebook tightly and stepped back. I went to the door and opened it. Haris barged in immediately, shoving me aside. Why weren't you answering? I called you 10 times. I glared at him. Because I didn't want to talk to you. He scoffed. What's your problem now? You know damn well what my problem is. He rolled his eyes. Bro, stop being dramatic. I stepped closer. You lied to me. You hid everything. You forced me into something I wasn't ready for. And you spoke for me that day when I didn't even decide anything. He waved me off. You're making it sound worse than it was. Worse? I laughed bitterly. Do you even hear yourself? He shrugged. You're married now. Just accept it. Aira peeked from the kitchen door. Haris noticed her and smiled like nothing was wrong. Oh, there she is. Aira, how are you? He said loudly. Her entire posture tensed. Haris approached her, and she instinctively stepped back. I moved between them. Don't talk to her like that. He frowned. Like what? Like you own her. He stared at me. I don't own her. But you two are acting weird. I clenched my fists. You're the reason she's scared. He laughed. Scared? Of me? Don't be stupid. Aira flinched behind me. I saw it. Chapter 7. The truth she tried to hide. I didn't let Aira out of my sight for the rest of the morning. She looked shaken, like Haris's presence had sucked all the air out of her lungs. I kept checking on her without saying much, afraid to pressure her, but even more afraid to leave her alone. We sat in the living room together. She held her notebook, but she didn't write. She just stared at the blank page, lost in a storm I couldn't see. Aira, I said softly, you don't have to talk about anything today. I won't force you. She didn't nod. She didn't shake her head. She just breathed, slow, shaky, broken. I moved closer. Do you want water? Tea? Anything? She wrote 2 shaky words. Stay here. I swallowed hard. I'm not going anywhere. We sat like that for a long time in silence, until she finally lifted her hand and scribbled slowly. He can't come back, right? No, I said firmly. I won't let him. She stared at those words for a long time before writing. He follows me sometimes. My stomach twisted. What do you mean follows? She hugged her notebook against her chest like a shield. I wasn't sure if she would tell me or break down trying. You can tell me, I whispered. She didn't write anything. Instead, she stood up and walked to her room. I followed her, slowly, because her steps looked unstable, like she was walking through memories she wanted to forget. Inside her room, she went to her drawer and pulled out the small key she had given me last night, then pointed to a locked box underneath the bed. You want me to open it? I asked quietly. She nodded. My heartbeat raced as I knelt and slid the box out. The metal was cold, scratched, old. I unlocked it with her key. Inside were letters, dozens of them, all with the same handwriting. Haris's handwriting. My veins turned to ice. Aira reached in and pulled out one letter. Her hands trembled as she gave it to me. I opened it. If you don't say yes, I'll make your life harder than it already is. You owe me. I'm the only one who talks for you. No one will believe a mute girl over me. I can make him marry you, so don't fight it. My grip tightened until the paper wrinkled. Aira, he threatened you into agreeing to this marriage? She stared at the floor and nodded, her breath shaking. I felt anger explode inside me. Hot, heavy, uncontrollable. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Why didn't you show me these letters before? She wrote. I was scared. I clenched my fists. Of me. She quickly shook her head. Then she wrote. Of him. My heart broke a little. Aira, you're safe now. But she shook her head again. She took 3 deep breaths and then wrote something longer. He said you needed a wife because you were too loyal and too soft. He said you would believe whatever he told you. He said if I didn't agree, he would ruin your name and make you lose your job. My breath caught in my throat. He used me to control you? She nodded. And then he forced me into marrying you, I whispered. She wrote. He lied to you too. I sat back, stunned. What did he gain from this? Why would he do something this insane? Her hand hesitated before writing. He hates when you choose someone over him. I froze. Meaning what? She wrote slowly, painfully. He wants to control you. You were the only person he couldn't control. So he used me to trap you. My head spun. He never acted like that with me. She wrote. He hides things from you. A long, crushing silence filled the room. Then she handed me another letter. This one was even worse. If he finds out I forced you, I'll say you begged for him. You're nothing without me. He trusts me more than you. Remember that. I felt something inside me snap. That bastard, I whispered. He manipulated us both. He trapped us both. And he pretended he did it for my good. Aira closed her eyes as if she'd been waiting a long time for me to finally see the truth. I stood up, pacing the small room. Why didn't you run? Why didn't you tell your family? She wrote. They don't listen to me. They listen to voices, not notebooks. I felt sick. So you were alone through all of this. She hesitated, then wrote. Until you. I sat down beside her. You're not alone now, Aira. I promise you that. A tear slid down her cheek. She wrote. Are you angry with me? No, I said instantly. I'm angry at him, at myself, at everything, but never at you. She looked relieved, like she had been carrying that fear for a long time. I took a deep breath. There's something I need to know, and I don't want to hurt you by asking. She stared at me. Why did he choose me? Why did he force you to marry me? She hesitated, then wrote something slowly, each word carefully shaped. He wanted to punish you. My lungs froze. Punish me? For what? Her hand trembled as she wrote the next line. For choosing another friend over him. I narrowed my eyes. Who? She looked at me with a mix of sadness and fear, then wrote, Zara, my closest friend after Haris. The one who always told me Haris was getting too controlling. The one Haris always hated for taking me away. My voice came out barely above a whisper. He destroyed my life because I talked to Zara more? Aira nodded. A storm formed inside me. Fire, betrayal, disbelief. And he used you, I whispered, just to hurt me. She wrote, and to hurt me. I closed the box of letters, my hands shaking. Aira, I said quietly, this ends now. She looked at me scared. What will you do? Expose him, I said. Break his control. Make him pay. Whatever it takes. Her eyes widened in fear. She wrote quickly, be careful. He is dangerous when cornered. I nodded. So am I. She reached for my sleeve gently. Her notebook opened to a single sentence. Please, don't let him destroy you too. I looked at her. Really looked at her. I won't, I whispered. Not this time. But inside I felt it. The war had started. And Haris had no idea I finally knew the truth. Chapter 8. The end of their lies. The air was thick that night. I couldn't sleep again. But this time it wasn't confusion or fear. It was fury. The letters, the lies, Haris's threats. It all burned inside me like fire. And I knew I had to end it. Tonight, Aira sat in the living room, notebook open, watching me. Her eyes were tired but steady. There was trust there now, a quiet courage. I'm going to confront him, I said softly. She looked up, alarm flashing in her eyes. She wrote quickly, Are you sure? I nodded. I can't wait any longer. He's poisoned too much of our lives already. She hesitated, then wrote, Then I'll be with you. I swallowed hard. No, you stay here. You're safe here. She shook her head gently, then wrote one word. No. Her stubbornness made me smile for the first time in days. Fine, but you follow my instructions. Don't talk unless I say so. Promise. She nodded. I grabbed the letters and the key to the box, my hands trembling with a mix of fear and adrenaline. Haris had no idea I knew everything. No idea I had the proof of his manipulation. I stepped outside, the night air sharp against my face. I could see his car parked across the street. He was probably waiting, expecting me to hesitate. I marched toward him. Haris, I shouted. He looked up, startled. What are you doing here? I stepped closer, letters in hand. You know exactly what I'm doing. Don't play stupid. He smirked. Calm down. We're friends. Don't make a scene. I laughed bitterly. Friends? Friends don't manipulate, threaten, and trap someone into a marriage. Friends don't ruin lives because they're jealous. His smirk faltered just slightly. Careful. You're crossing lines, man. I held up the letters. These lines? I already crossed them by letting you get away with this. Now the truth is out. Every word, every threat, every lie you fed me and Aira, you're done. His eyes darted nervously. You think I'm afraid of some papers? I stepped forward. No. I'm afraid of me if I hadn't seen the truth. I'm afraid of what I would have let you continue to do. He swallowed hard. For the first time, he looked small, vulnerable. I felt power surge inside me. You manipulated us both, I said. You forced her into marrying me. You lied to everyone. You controlled me from behind the curtain. But your curtain is gone. Look around. I handed him one of the letters. Every threat you made, Every word you wrote. Everything documented.